What is going on, everybody? Happy Thursday. My name is Justin, aka No Good Comics, and welcome back to the channel. I'm still here toying around with some of the music fanciness going on with StreamYard here, so figure I'll play a little rock and roll before we get going here. But yeah, we're talking Strange issue number 1 tonight, and it's not just me. I say we. Talking with my good man, my good friend Paul, aka PJ Morris. Let me bring him in right now. Paul, what's going on, brother?
What's going on, brother? Digging the tunes.
Let me bring this down a little bit. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Good, man. Not bad. Long week at work, but tomorrow's Friday, so.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm down with it. I'm down. I'm ready for the weekend, and it's one of those weeks. Yeah, man. So yeah, I've been toying with this music stuff. I thought it was pretty cool. So I've been jamming out here lately.
It is, man. It's next level. I'm baby steps.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So for folks watching right now, again, we're talking about Strange issue number 1. This is Jed MacKay. Marcelo, who we just mentioned the artist
Ferreira,
Marcelo.
I think it was.
Ferreira, that's right. And of course, I am with PJ Morris. Paul, if you guys are not following him, I put his information in the description below, including Paul's YouTube link. So y'all should sub up to his YouTube channel because, Paul, you've been starting to plan out some new content on the YouTubes now. Is that right?
Yeah, a couple things working.
Nice.
I mean, so far I've been every other week, so I think I'll have to get something cooking for next week. But
very cool. Very cool. I'm looking forward to more. And yeah, anybody, absolutely. Yeah, anyone watching, if you're watching the replay, make sure you sub up to Paul. Let's get his numbers up. And yeah, so a couple things, Paul. First of all, you're wearing a Yankee hat. I'm wearing a Yankee hat. We got to talk a little baseball just for a second here. So the news is it's official, right? We're having baseball.
Back. We are back.
It was a little nerve-wracking there for a second. I didn't know what was happening.
Changes though too. I guess the National League is going to have the DH now.
Oh,
it's going to be universal. More playoff teams. I think 12 playoff teams now.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Some concessions were made, but I guess the good news is baseball's back. So
yes, yeah. I'm down with it. We missed a couple series here or there, and like you, I think you were saying before that they might even try to squeeze them in anyways, huh?
Yeah, they said they still might be able to get the 162 in. I mean, it's. I guess for us up here in the Northeast, I mean, I don't mind missing some games in early April because if you do get a chance to go to the games, it's pretty chilly sometimes. So
that's true. That's true. Do you ever get to go to a Yankee game, like if obviously during the seasons and maybe even before the pandemic?
I mean, it's been a few years now, but I've been to I was ready to say the new Yankee Stadium. I mean, it's been around for what 12, 13 years now.
I think it's still fair to call it new. I think.
Yeah, I've been there a few times, but not in probably 5 or 6 years or more. It's been a while.
Gotcha. I always thought
it was a weird sensation. I was there one time in September, and it was a rain delay. So I'm there with my Yankee gear. I love the Yankees. They put the Jets game on like the big monitor, so all those same people who were with us, all the Yankee fans were united. And they put that on the screen, and I was like, oh, screw these guys. I hate the Jets. It was a little weird, but
you're of two different sides.
Yeah, you get the Rhode Island. Sometimes you'll get the Yankee Patriot fan. It's kind of a weird hybrid, but
it's fair. That's fair.
We do exist.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, man, I feel like there's a good amount of us Yankee fans in the comic book community. And I always say it'd be cool to get a bunch of us to plan out a time where we all go to a game, something like that. But anyways, just we had to talk a little baseball. You know that. Let's say a quick load of the chat here before we jump into it. And then we will break down issue number 1 of Strange. We got John from John's Comics with Kids hanging out. First and foremost, good to see you, John.
What's happening, John?
We got PJ King in the house, who I know is a big Yankee fan. He says, yes, the baseball lockout over. Go Yanks. Absolutely. We're with you. Let's see. TM Nerdy, Travis Station. Travis, good to see you, my friend. Thanks for swinging by. We also got Comics Kings. What is up, Brandon?
Brando, what's happening, brother?
He's talking about his Pirates. Yep, my Pirates will still be last. Yeah. I won't argue with you there. All right, cool. So then like I said, if you guys are not, make sure you're following Paul. Put his information in the description below. Smash that like button too while you're at it. But let's talk a little bit about Strange, Paul. This is wait, I just had my issue. Oh, so this is the copy I got here. And you got the art germ? Is that art germ?
Yeah, and I'm usually not a big fan of his covers, her covers as it may be. I'm not even sure who the art germ is, but they all kind of have that same kind of style. But
it's true, yeah.
I did see that one there, and I did like that one. That was pretty cool because she's kind of got her traditional purple outfit.
Purple, yeah. What did you? Let's just talk about general thoughts before we get into the kind of play-by-play. But what did you think overall? Like, how would you kind of describe your thoughts here with this first issue? And obviously, this takes place right after the death of Doctor Strange.
Yeah, this is post death. I mean, I thought it was good. I mean, it was cool. It was. I think at least I'll speak for myself, man. I think most people know. You kind of knew that this was coming up after the death of Doctor Strange. That it was kind of announced, or I probably read it somewhere, so I knew. And it kind of was basically what I was, what I kind of figured it would be. You know, it was, a little more like, I guess, like a modern take or like version of what like the Sorcerer Supreme would, because Doctor Strange is very like, he's like the speech, like the way she speaks to Wong in this issue, and even Wong tells like, oh, you can't do that type of thing, So I like that kind of dynamic where, she's kind of like she's
herself
kind of
in a way.
Yeah, like she's got the mantle Sorcerer Supreme now, but she's gonna do it her own way, kind of thing.
Right, right.
Following the traditions, so to speak, or whatever the normal customs.
Totally.
So I kind of like that aspect of it.
Absolutely. Which I was kind of hoping that would be the case, that, she's her own person and her own, and she's not just human and all this other stuff. So she has obviously a whole different background to kind of how she views things. And we learn about that here in this issue. So I like that you can kind of separate that this is not Doctor Strange that we're talking about. We're talking about Clea, I mean,
she's from a very, it is called the dark dimension, but she's from a very dark place. It's nothing like Earth. So she has very different perspective and mannerisms, I guess. So she kind of doing her own thing.
Totally. I'm with you. I definitely enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to. I mean, I have been enjoying the Death of Doctor Strange stuff from Jed MacKay. I like Jed MacKay in general. I like a lot of the work that he's done here recently in the past year or so.
Read anything else he did? Was he writing Iron Man?
I've
seen his name on Iron Man, but I could be wrong.
That's possible. The other thing I know him for is Magic the Gathering, which is pretty new. It's been out for a year or so. But he's been doing that series for a little while, and he's also doing Moon Knight right now.
Yeah, and I shouldn't forget. I think he did Doctor Doom as well. So which I have some of those issues. I'm not like current. Yeah, that last series, I think it was 10 or 12 issues or so.
Gotcha. Yeah. Overall, I think he's a solid writer, and that was one of the reasons where I was like, oh, let me give this a try. I think also John from John's Comics with Kids, he had mentioned the first issue of Death of Doctor Strange. He was like interested in it. I remember he gave it a positive review. So that's what kind of got me to explore a little bit. That and the idea that we've talked about this last time when I was getting on this kick of Doctor Strange just in general, wanting to, learn a little bit more. So I figured that would be a good jumping on point to just kind of go with the current stuff too, Obviously we talked about the Oath and things like that. Hey, we got Jason in the house. What's going on, brother? So I think, ultimately I would definitely recommend this to somebody. I really enjoyed it overall. I like the wittiness that she had. Like, it made me like Clea more, and I don't know her that well. I don't know much about the character.
Yeah, I mean, this is some of like the most like, just like you really got to see her character. Like you can't tell. Okay. Good stuff. I knew some of these newer writers, I get them mixed up. I know MacKay, but yeah, as far as Clea, like her personality, you never really seen that before. At least I haven't. The stuff I've read from her, I mean, she's obviously hasn't never been like that big of a character where she's had all these kind of singular moments just for herself. She's usually a guest kind of situation. But it was cool to see her, like I was saying, just kind of like she's still her. Like, yes, I'm the Sorcerer Supreme, but as she mentions in the story, I'm the Sorcerer Supreme in like two basically dimensions, like
right,
dark dimension and now Earth. So
Yeah.
and she's basically the same pretty much no matter what.
Yep. I see PJ said, I picked up Strange because I loved Jed MacKay's Moon Knight run, which I've been hearing great things about his Moon Knight run. Really solid first issue, and this book can go in many different directions. Absolutely, that's a great point too. There's definitely a lot of different directions. I think that he can kind of go with this if he wants to. I'm going to bring up the slides that we have here, and we can kind of jump into some of this stuff. And by the way, so that's cover A, right? That was like the main, highlighted cover.
I kind of like that cover now in retrospect. I might have to pick one of those up too.
Me too. I was looking at it after I read it the first time around. I was like, just the fact that I enjoyed the issue made me kind of even like all of it, and even more. Where I'm like, ooh, maybe I should have got that cover. Maybe I should have got the Art Germ cover. So yeah, they're the creators there. Marcelo, how does he say his name? Oh, Ferreira. Okay, yeah, Marcelo Ferreira and Jed MacKay.
The splash of the this kind of recap page is like that. I don't know. It looks like it's something out of the Book of the Vishanti or something.
Yeah.
Cool, like parchment look.
Absolutely, for sure. And they kept that. They were doing that even with the Death of Doctor Strange stuff, which is cool.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
So for anyone who does, haven't been following around, basically Death of Doctor Strange was all about how, Strange has at least currently he's dead. And he had like a backup version of him that basically helped him. Yeah. And he was basically like a detective to try to figure out how he died. And so, and then meanwhile, there was an attack because he was gone. Basically there was an attack from another dimension for this, what was it? Like the something child. Can't remember the name.
Peregrine child.
Yeah. And the mothers
or something.
Yeah. So it's like weird, creepy, but because of this, basically the realms were all open, the dimensions, there was people traveling in and out. And that's kind of where Clea came in from. She came in, there's a bunch of other, different dimension warlords that had come in. So that's kind of what happened. And, to sum it up, basically they discover how it went down. But at the same time, Strange couldn't survive this, this whole thing. So he had passed the mantle along, or the title along, to Clea. So that's kind of where we left off. So I'll jump into some of this stuff. And so right off the bat here, it's a really cool kind of dark rain scene. It actually kind of reminded me, Paul, of when we talked about the Oath. And just some of those rain scenes, you remember that during the end of Oath? Just like these darker battle scenes or whatever. A lot of lightning and thunder going on.
Yeah, it's definitely a great kind of atmosphere and background for like a kind of mystic battle. Although, well, this is not so much a mystic battle, I suppose. But
right. But still, we're just like a showdown.
This
Like, what's happening?
Kind of badass looking, though. Harvest Man. I must. He's definitely a cool visual.
I agree. I totally agree. And basically, we're planted right into this action, and she's just like, they're arguing, and he basically tells her that he says, no, you will not resurrect Doctor Strange. Like, that's his line there on the right-hand side. Cool splash page. And that's really it. And then we flash forward to that morning. So it's, we get which I like that style where it's like they show you a little glimpse of the current day stuff or the present, and then they're like, let's back it up here, show you how we got to the situation. What did you think of this opening scene here with like, her complaining and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool. I just like the so essentially she must want like a butler or a robotic servant of some kind, but
yeah. So
she makes reference to a something like a metal suit or empty suit or something. Yeah. And then lo and behold, it's Dr. Doom at the door. So I mean that was pretty badass.
Yeah, kind of some perfect timing.
Sense though, right? Because if Doom knows that the Sorcerer Supreme is quote unquote out of commission, with his ego and his drive, he's just like, okay, well then I'm just gonna take it. Like it's not up for debate, basically. And then she very clearly lets him know that, that's not going to happen.
Totally. Yeah.
But it's like funny. You mentioned that, Doctor Strange, when he basically when he's like dying again or whatever, at the end of the death of Doctor Strange, he gives her the eye and he gives her the cloak. Yep. He basically just anoints her as the, Sorcerer Supreme, and Dr. Doom tells her like that's not how it works. Like, right. It's like a mantle that you need to earn, type of thing. So that was pretty cool that he kind of, so I feel like there'll be repercussions for that then, that like, because she didn't really receive it. I mean, I'm probably getting way ahead of the,
No,
see what happens, but
no, you're good.
she
Yeah.
basically, she didn't really achieve, kind of earn the mantle the traditional way that, it had always been.
Yeah.
So that, I feel like she's probably going to have to, like, something's going to happen in that regard. But anyway, it's not going to be Dr. Doom, at least not in this issue, because she basically sends him packing.
She tells him off, which I thought was so great. Like, she's just like, he's like, what's he say? He's like, this is just a courtesy. He says, obviously, with Strange dead, I will attain the title of Sorcerer Supreme. I've come for the Eye of Agamotto and the Cloak of Levitation. And she's just there with her coffee. She's like, no. Like that's not how this is going down.
Yeah, basically, I am the Sorcerer Supreme. So
right. Yeah, and now I do like that she makes some points where she's like where were you when the Earth was invaded? And
exactly.
like he wasn't around to kind of save. Like everybody else came, Avengers were involved, like all the other superheroes were there, but he really wasn't around. So I like that she kind of threw that in his face too. But I think that's what I liked most about this whole opening scene. She was so witty and so I think it even said I think Wong described it as like sassy or very accurate to kind of how she snapped at him.
Yeah, it's just maybe it probably goes back to where she also mentions in this issue, which is true, that she's not she's not human, so like she doesn't, like, basically she doesn't care that he's Dr. Doom, basically, or whoever. It's like it doesn't matter.
Right,
like,
right.
I'm going to speak to you or handle you the way I see fit.
Yeah.
And I don't really care what your station on Earth, what it is. It's irrelevant to me, kind of thing.
Which to him, he's like baffled that she's even like talking to him like this. Like, and then they go at it, which I have a couple of the scenes here where they both start raising their voice. And it gets a little intense there.
And when I said I had reread it, because I read it the other day.
Yeah.
Which I just noticed when she does stop fighting him there, she goes like she gets like the flames of Faultine on her head, like Dormammu kind of, which I didn't notice the first time I had read it.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of gets that fiery head a little bit. So that was a pretty cool touch, because I think in the way it's been established, if you're the leader of the Dark Dimension, you kind of have those flames.
Yeah.
So I know when in the comics way back in the day, Uma, her mother, Dormammu's, I think, sister or something.
Right.
When she was leading the Dark Dimension, she had the flamed head too, but she didn't look like him per se, but she still had like the silhouette of like the flame. So anyway, I just thought that was cool.
Yeah, no, that's a great point, because she does say in here that Umar is her mother, and what's his name is her uncle technically, Dormammu. So that makes sense. I didn't really pick that up, but now that I think about it, with the flame going on, it makes sense.
And she says in this issue she's from the Faultine or whatever.
Steve? Yeah. We got Steve in the house. We got Phil in the house as well. What's up, Phil? And we also got Ruben Guzman, White Tiger, hanging out with us. Cowabunga, my man.
Cowabunga. Love it.
So yeah, man, this is I think that's a great point. So she kind of just puts him in his place. He calls her mad. She's mad and whatever. She explains that she is angry, but she also makes a point. She, defending Steven. She talks about how he had given his time to protect the Vishanti for like what was it 5,000 years or whatever. Yeah. And he's like,
that goes back to like the 90s. It was a storyline in the 90s. Yeah, with that. Although I lost track, I guess, but I thought at one point that when they came to have him come, I mean, this is completely nothing to do with this issue, but just now that I'm thinking of it.
No, that's good.
In the 90s, the storyline I'm thinking of with the Vishanti come to him and tell him, you need to come fight for like 500 or 5,000 years. And he's like, well, I can't really make that kind of commitment right now, And so he kind of blows them off, and they take all their they take the eye. I don't think they take the cloak, but he's basically stripped kind of his magical powers for a while. So he has to reach out to like new kind of, I guess, demons and mystical beings, but he doesn't have like the traditional powers and stuff that he had. I mean, it was a somewhat brief storyline in the 90s, but it's funny if that is what this is referencing. That, I mean, they definitely do a good job in this issue. I feel like kind of
doing their homework
things together. Yeah, like sometimes I feel like a lot of new stuff they don't, but in that regard, they this particular issue, they really kind of bring up some obscure like stuff that unless you were really well read on Doctor Strange, you probably wouldn't even realize it.
So I'm glad this is something I wanted to bring up. I'm glad that you had kind of gone into some of this talking about the 90s stuff, because I assume that there was an event, of some sort that they're referencing to. I do usually, though, they usually will say like, for more, read XYZ issue, so I'm kind of surprised they didn't put that in there, even if it is something really old. But I do appreciate when a writer does their homework and they go back and they, pick out stories or little, even just inside jokes, things that might not be major relevant, But so even for this instance, where she's just like, hey, he defended the Vishanti 5,000 years. She's like, do you think that they'll, do you think that they won't, honor his dying wish? And he's just like, basically has nothing to say. He's just like, fair enough, but he says it's not over. That's what he goes, it's not over, witch. And she corrects him. She's like, Sorcerer Victor, Sorcerer Supreme. That was kind of like the ending of some of that.
Yeah, Wong's like, I think I saw Doctor Strange leaving. So it was funny.
She's like, he's like, I wish I caught that. Seeing him all angry like that. She had the snakes over her shoulder.
Those things are pretty cool.
Yeah. They're like tell him to get out of here, basically.
Talking shit, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So this is where so Wong comes into the picture. They talk a little bit about they're still like grieving, essentially. Like there's still like one thing that when I read through it the first time around, I kind of didn't fully like put into place the idea that Strange just died. So they should be sad. They should be dealing with some sort of grief or whatever the case is, and she's taken it in a little bit of a different way. She seems very driven. So, and obviously we learned that in these panels where she's just like talking about the idea of bringing him back, essentially.
Definitely handling it much different than Wong, but maybe that is also a byproduct of just her upbringing and where she's from, and she's not quite as I guess maybe emotional or well, not sensitive, but you know what I mean? Like she just doesn't have those kind of feelings. She's,
which she kind of says that later in the issue too, right? She's like, talks about, well, I think that's even where she mentions like her uncle and her mom and kind of where she comes from. And, that's one of the things.
Bred to be like warlords type of thing,
right?
It's like in our blood kind of thing.
And she, and the fact that she's like, I'm not going to accept anything but what I want as my fate, and so she's like not settling. So in that sense, once she has this idea of like, hey, let's bring him back, like it's done, like it's already done in her head, that it can be done. So I mean, I like that. So, but before that even happens, like, so they talk a little bit. Wong does express, that he's very emotional still. And I like, I meant to mention it earlier in one of the other panels, but I like some of the coffee talk that they have here.
Say she's not a fan of earthly roast.
No, she really puts it down in front of Doom when Doom was there. She's like, you're used to it by now, right? This terrible coffee. And now she's talking about like going to the dark dimension. She's like, I could really use a nice dark dimension roast. And I'm surprised like Marvel hasn't come out with like their own coffee of that.
I know. Wong's like, oh, I know just the place. This crazy. What's he call it? The Goblin Market or something?
Yeah, the Goblin Market. Yeah, it's like an interdimensional.
Not your local
location.
Trader Joe's here. Right. It's got some.
What up, Todd?
Unique items for sale in this place.
We got Todd. We got Swaggle in the house. Good to see you both,
gentlemen.
Thanks for swinging by. Todd, you missed. I think you're a Yankee fan. I think we talked Yankees with you, but you missed the Yankee talk earlier. But anyway,
Todd Christians. I was thinking the. Tight end for the Raiders in the 80s. I think he had the same name. But
love it.
Yeah, the Dark Dimension roast, that was definitely that was cool. That was a pretty cool thing to come up with,
Yeah, I was enjoying the banter. Yeah, there you go, Jason. I got to get me some of that Dark Dimension roast next time.
Seriously. After this week, I needed on an IV drip.
Yeah. So with this, and actually this last panel on the right is where they, they're talking to some of the people in the market. They're getting an idea. You see a lot of different goblins and fairies and wizards and all sorts of walks of life. And they're talking about like, she's like, who runs this place or who protects this? And one of them are kind of chime in and they're like, we do. We just, the market, we just, handle anybody that tries to take our stuff out. He talked about a couple other characters, the Hood, Kingpin, Blasphemy, Cartel. Which as they're like saying this, they end up marching in here, and this is where we get some of these cool fight scenes, which I guess there was the blasphemy cartel, but then there was also the, what is it? The 23 nobody 20 or was nobody 23 is what the one guy referred to himself as, which was, I don't know. I was going to ask you, like, do you know who blasphemy cartel is? Or
I feel like they're mostly just all made up for this issue or something, because I can't really recall ever reading anything with them now. Although they make reference in here something right about they seem familiar or something, but I can't I can't really off the top of my head come up with anything. I took them as just kind of new characters for this little story.
That's fair.
This particular scene, but these guys meet a pretty gruesome fate. Actually, she's
man,
she's pretty violent. She's a badass.
That's what I love. Like, I wasn't expecting that, especially with like some of the when the dude throws a grenade and she like sends it at him, and you see the skin peeling off his face and stuff.
She makes those like I don't know, they're like blades or something. She like throws at that one guy.
Yep. Yeah, she definitely, like, even like her eyes lighting up purple, like in that middle panel there, and everything, just even her wizard, like even her spells are like this dark purple, like it just gives that whole dark dimension vibe, which is cool. But yeah, they didn't know what they were getting into. They do mention like that they were a little bit more well equipped than what they had expected. That they've dealt with these.
Yeah, they mentioned something about, well, Strange is dead, but we detected like a large discharge of like mystical energy, and so they definitely weren't prepared for her, or like to encounter someone, I guess, with so much power.
Right.
So almost like they scouted the place out, and we're figuring it's going to be an easy mark, I guess, but that wasn't the case.
Yeah, and this is that scene I was saying with their grenade there, and she that you can see on the right hand corner the face getting lit up like that. I was gonna flip to it here, but she they even like get it on their radar where they're like, oh, like they're talking radios and they're like, hey, the Sorcerer Supreme is there. They're like, oh, what? Strange is dead, and she's like, Strange is not dead. Strange is right here, and then that's when she like. Kind of
doesn't like so this big demon comes out of this grenade, I think, and she absorbs it into the eye, and she says something like, I'll have use for you later. I'll use you later.
She takes it. So she takes it.
I'm guessing we'll see the the genie from Aladdin there come back out of the eye at some point.
Totally. Yeah. Where was it? That was a page. Oh yeah. Oh, the other thing too in this left hand image here or panel, she talks about they have these bullets. They're called silver, she said cold iron bullets, rune scriven lead. She goes, I'm sure this would be very effective against hedge witches and gutter mages, but I am not that. And that's when she starts doing her spells. She tears them all up. Yeah, that middle page is where you're talking about those daggers or whatever it is that she's throwing.
But they're like just tearing right through these people.
Totally.
Never seen Doctor Strange for certain never seen him use his power, so like violently like that. So
no, which was a great like way to really remind you that, hey, this is not this is not your average Strange, and that's definitely pointed out too. I know later on Wong, he kind of mentions some of that, right? He talks about like, hey, the thing you did back there, killing those folks. He wouldn't have done that.
She said something like Doctor Strange, but then she's like, well, I'm not Doctor Strange, but he kind of tells her, well, yeah, but like right now you are kind of, you are the Sorcerer Supreme of Earth. You kind of need to act accordingly.
Yeah. No, absolutely. This was interesting too. Like she puts the spell on the one guy. She tells him like, I'm going to let this one guy live basically. So you can go back and tell your people, what's up. But she like, I don't know. Is she turning him into a butterfly or multiple like, I noticed all these butterflies coming out either out of her hand or his head is turning into like butterflies. I didn't know what was going on there. It looked cool, but just wasn't sure.
I know, because she says she's letting him go though. So it's almost like
I didn't know if he was just being transferred somehow, and that's what it looked like.
Maybe that's what it looks like when he's because someone's like summoning him or
right.
Because he's calling someone, right? He's saying like he needs to get picked up or something. So
yeah.
I wasn't quite sure what that the butterflies were.
He says requesting immediate summoning. So definitely, so definitely a little magic behind and she's like, where are you going, little gangster, little killer? She's like talking all this chat. Like I loved her, man. I really did. Like the character was great. she's calling him worm. She's like, "Do not fear, worm. I will allow your magi to summon you back safely, or to safety, I should say." She says, because whoever you report to, this place is under my protection. I am the Sorcerer Supreme. I am the warlord born. And that's where on the right-hand side we get that with the butterfly and stuff. I like the butterfly drawn off on the side of the page. A little outside of the, kind of reminded me of John Byrne, how he's, takes the artwork off the edges there. I mean, I know a lot of
outside of like the kind of panel. So
yeah. So we get all that action scene, and then we kind of slow it back down here. And this is where, we got Bats, the ghost dog. So I'm glad to see Bats here. But this is where, like you were saying, like Wong kind of tells her, like, hey, just so you know, like, you're on Earth. This is not how things are conducted here. And that's certainly not what Doctor Strange has, Stephen, he'd never done something like that.
Yeah, and he's like bottom right panels there. He's kind of looks like he's kind of heated about it. He's kind of telling her, but then he gets Is this where she's explaining to him that she kind of put that spell out there?
The alarm. Yeah, it's like a smoke alarm type thing.
And so basically, if one Strange comes back, she'll know.
Yeah, it's like a detector.
Deal, basically. Because she references, I don't know if it's on these panels, another one about, like, basically all the heroes come back.
Yes.
She says something like that. Don't they all come back? And he's like, yeah, kind of, I guess.
Yeah, it
like,
seems
maybe maybe he'll just come back on his own.
Yep.
But she says that in the meantime, we'll continue to work on it, type of thing.
Yeah, she calls him. She says, "Wong, how many of Stephen's little friends, the cape and mask ones, have come back from the dead?" He said, "All of them. It sometimes seems, and they're drinking wine. I like they're just casually drinking wine." Hey, we got Eric in the house. What up, Azores?
Hey, what's up, Eric? Yeah, it seems like Wong's been kind of on a bender, so he's. Because in the beginning of this issue, he's kind of like hungover and stuff. Yeah.
That's right. I forgot about that. He was out of it. And this is too where they kind of talk a little bit about not being, needing time. He's like, I feel like we just hit the ground running. He's like, I haven't had time to really grieve, and so to him, he's just like, can we like kind of pump the brakes here? And she's ready to just keep moving already. And then that's where, as you're saying, like, he's kind of yelling at her. He's like, yeah, this is Earth, Clea. You may not be Stephen, but you are the Sorcerer Supreme of this planet, and you must act like it. And that's when he's like kind of yelling at that bottom right. And then as that happens, he's like, wait, is that your spell? And that's where we see,
she just takes off basically.
Yeah. She's
convinced. She's convinced it's going to be Stephen.
Right. So, which is weird. I mean, because she just put it up and it's like just happening now. Like, would it even happen that fast? But she seems, and Wong also even tries to tell her, like, wait a second, like, don't go yet. Like, you
don't know if it's him. And she's like, yes, it is. Like, she's, there's no convincing her otherwise,
Right. Yep. Hey, we got Architectural in the house. What's going on, brother?
What's happening?
And by the way, we got 6 people hanging with us. If you guys are not following Paul, make sure you do so. I put his information in the description below. Yeah, man. So like you said, she just jumps the gun here.
She's off and running.
So this is, I wanted to bring up that in some of these panels here, there's a lot of like the boxed text where it's her mind speaking. And what I liked was she talked about how she was given, what did she say? She said before talking about Stephen, before Stephen died, an attempt to make the world he loves this world safer, he gave me 4 things, she says. 4 things. She said, he gave me the cloak of levitation, which we knew, the eye of Agamotto, we knew that, the title of Sorcerer Supreme, and the 4th thing, she said, secret thing that made it all possible. And this is where she goes into talking about, one, she mentions that she's related to Dormammu and her mother, kind of her background, what she comes from. On top of that, she talks a little bit about the love that she has. She's just like, she truly loves him. Like, she thinks that he's this like, this imperfect, man.
Yeah, like kind of flawed man, but
right.
He's like a good man, basically. He just
And to me, that was like, okay, like that's her 4th thing is like, she's because she was like, Doom would not understand. That's what she was trying to explain. Like Doom would not understand like having what I have here and all this other stuff. And she talked about basically her connection with Strange, the love that she has for him, and the fact that she is very much focused on what she wants. Like she's like, talks about like, I will not accept anything less than what I'm trying to get done, or what the fate that I choose.
Yeah. So these boxes are when she's saying that to herself, right? Like basically, I will not be denied like the fate I want. Basically, like I'm gonna make it happen, so to speak.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. No, that's all good, like kind of internal dialogue, I guess.
Yeah. Agreed.
I appreciate it, man.
There you go. And then, but then we find out, surprise, surprise, it's not, as we kind of had a feeling, right, that it wasn't going to be him.
Not quite Stephen Strange, not that fast.
No, but we get the return of where we left off from the beginning. Kind of some of that. We see what's his name again at the top right?
Harvest Man.
Harvest Man. That's right.
And this creature, Grim Reaper from the Avengers, a little bit with the big, was that Sith there, kind of.
Oh yeah, the blade. Yeah.
But I just actually noticed on my second reread too. That says Thunderstrike, so that's Eric Masterson's like zombie form.
See, that's what I was wondering too. So Thunderstrike is the creature, right? Is that?
Yeah, because it kind of looks like his pants. He's got the vest on. It kind of looks like some ratty blonde, balding hair because he's like a skeleton. So I'm not sure, honestly. The last time, I don't know what Thunderstrike's like position is in Marvel. I don't know, is he dead? Apparently, he's dead. So I mean, I haven't read Thunderstrike since like the '90s. When he was Tom DeFalco. Excuse me.
Yeah.
In the Thor series, Eric Masterson. So if that is him, it's kind of a cool, just kind of out of left field, appearance. But so I don't know if this Harvest Man can like bring back
certain characters or certain
or something, or maybe her spell or whatever. She thought it was Steven and it's this guy. And the other thing is, when Steven does come through, is he going to be like this kind of
like zombie,
skeletal zombie kind of form?
Oh God. That'll see if her love is that true or not.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Architectural says
that panel is cool, man, no doubt.
Yeah. He says Architectural says not picking this book up. Who is this? Clea? Yes, this is Clea taking over the title and the mantle. It's really good. Architectural. I would recommend checking it out. It was a good read.
Definitely a good solid issue, and it's left a lot on the plate still, so but it also enough to kind of keep you coming back, type of thing.
Totally. I think the darkness of the whole vibe of the issue is something I really like. Like I said, like those kind of violent battle scenes, fight scenes, I thought was dope. I loved her attitude, her kind of like cockiness, and kind of how she carries herself. I really enjoyed that aspect. And again, coming from like I knew nothing about this character, so it was just nice to kind of learn a little bit. Again, like you said, like she hasn't had many spotlights, focused books, about her prior to this. Is that right? So
yeah, no, she it's funny though, because her first appearance, obviously back in the Silver Age, Strange Tales 126. She wasn't named though. She didn't even get her name until like Strange Tales like 146. So
oh wow, okay.
She was just like an unnamed,
just like a random character
woman. Yeah, but yeah, she does. I see I guess Gore Vital.
Yeah, Gore
says,
Vital.
Yeah, she was impressed because I think in Strange Tales 126, Strange is trying to fight Dormammu, but he's like seriously, overpowered. He's not on that level at that point. Although even at his full peak, he's probably still not on Dormammu's level, like man to man, so to speak. But she was taken with him a little bit,
Yeah. Gore mentions here, it says, in the 80s, under Roger Stern and Paul Smith, Strange's conflicted love for another woman who happened to love him even more than
I think it was Morgana Bless or something. I think I think that was the name. I think what happened was Clea felt like that woman was destined to be Strange's kind of I guess love of his life, so to speak. So she goes back to the dark dimension after that. So you don't really see her too much after that.
Interesting. Yeah, I was doing a little homework trying to look up a little more about Clea, and just I'm already starting to hunt down some of the the volume 2's Doctor Strange stuff because I can't get enough of that artwork and it just looks wicked.
Doctor Strange, it's just the early stuff's beautiful. There's some Paul Smith stuff later on. I mean, it's just really good stuff.
Yeah, I'm definitely I'm down
Strange
to.
is cool, man. You know, as a kid, I probably didn't appreciate him as much. I was kind of drawn to him and he kind of got on my radar because I was a huge Spidey fan and I love Steve Ditko's artwork. So that made me kind of Doctor Strange is really the only other creation of Marvel Silver Age other than Spider-Man was Doctor Strange. So I started reading those books, and it was I remember as a kid I had this little like pocket digest like reprint book. It was small, but it reprinted a bunch of the Strange Tales, and it was cool stuff, man. It kind of definitely drew me in.
Is that like this, Paul? Is X-Men
exactly.
obviously?
Exactly. That was it. I had the Doctor Strange one.
I just found this
really cool, man. I gotta get that one.
I found this. I was actually with Morbius when I found this. This was like a couple months ago. I don't know if I shared it on Instagram, but I had it in a YouTube video. But yeah, I just got to show it real quick now because you mentioned it. It's cool, like to see like the reprint of it. I had no idea.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, and it was like $2. This thing was like $2 at it.
That looked like the way they did those panels. It looked like the what do they call that in comicsology when it's like zoomed in like
the panel features. Yeah.
It kind of looks like that because that would be all on one page, but the way they split it up, that's kind of cool, man. I got to track that down now.
Yeah, man. It's funny you bring that up because I was like, I got it right here. Like, so that's cool.
Anyway, and that kind of got me. I was like, wow, this guy, he's pretty cool because he, the magical aspect of it was just something. There really was no other heroes like that. Everybody else was, big and jacked.
Sure.
Power. He's not really super powered, so to speak, but he can do amazing things with it.
He's super smart, right? I mean,
and all his incantations, and he can draw kind of energy and power from all these, mystical beings and stuff. So it was definitely like a cool, he was just so different than anything else I was really reading back then.
Totally. Did you watch the What If over on the Disney Plus series, the Doctor Strange episode? You know what I'm talking about?
No doubt. Yep.
What did you like that? Did you
It was cool, man. It was it seems like they're going to kind of make more of make that a bigger character, so to speak, and it's because I know like some speculation in the comics was going to all these random books that are tied into it, and it seems like Doctor Strange 2, the movie, is going to have kind of I don't even know what you would call it, maniacal or kind of crazy, I guess, like Doctor Strange. So kind of makes sense, especially the way he was prior to his, I guess, enlightenment with the Ancient One. He was kind of an egotistical ass. I mean, until he kind of injured, so if he kind of just transitioned from that guy into like the kind of, I guess, asshole Doctor Strange, so to speak, without ever kind of learning the, like she's almost like, she's not that bad, but she's got that edge to her in this issue like that, where she's kind of, what I say is kind of what I'm going to do. And, I don't really care so much about what the, customary thing to do or, the pleasant.
She's playing by her own rules. Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. I wanted to highlight here too. I saw a couple comments. Todd was mentioning, he says, I hope the book continues to with the darker direction that MacKay has set up for this issue. Doctor Strange should be a horror book, ideally, which I like the idea of that. If that's,
I can see that.
if that's the tone, even just like more adult, like, storytelling and horror book type vibes, not straight horror, but like that darker, not for kids type stuff. Like, I think that,
I feel like that volume 2 early on was like that with the Bruno art. Was very like,
nice.
It was very like dark, and even the Gene Colan issues prior to that, like maybe because Colan drew Tomb of Dracula, I just like associate. But the way his art was, it was very like dark and moody and like time and clouds. I don't know, just like the way he kind of drew the atmosphere, just had almost like a horror kind of vibe to it.
Yeah.
So I see what you're saying, but not like, don't go extreme with it, but
just keep it dark.
Good. I just like the fact that she got that edge, and she's, she's not going to put you in some, mystical realm where you can just like do what you want, but you're in prison, so to speak. She's like, no, I'm just basically gonna kill you. You know,
she's like the Punisher. She's like the Punisher wizard.
Basically, she's the
my girlfriend would love that. Lady No Good. She'd be like, just kill him. You know, bad guy, just kill him. You know. I saw Mark said he read this, but he wasn't aware of Clea before Death of Doctor Strange. What I didn't like with her dialogue, similar to reading Shakespeare. Oh man, Mark, I would say I didn't get the Shakespeare vibe. I'm trying to remember from the Death of Doctor Strange stuff, but I would say give this issue a shot because I wouldn't say this is Shakespeare-y type of vibe. She's very much like modern and witty, you know, with her punchlines and stuff. So I would say give it a shot. You know, definitely a good read. Gore's talking about artwork from the 60s through the 80s. Hasn't been surpassed. Ditko, Bruner, P. Craig, Russell, Adkins. I know, Paul, you've mentioned a ton of these names. Colin, obviously, Michael Golden, Paul Smith, you were just talking about, who left the X-Men to do Strange. I didn't realize that. I remember hearing about Paul Smith.
I still remember seeing the ads in the Marvel books. Frank Miller was supposed to do a run on Doctor Strange, and he drew up. I actually have like a modern Doctor Strange book that they used the art from like that promo by Frank Miller for like a variant cover. But anyway, he was supposed to do like a run, you know, on the title, but it never came to fruition. So it would have been cool though, Frank Miller drawing Doctor Strange.
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, Paul Smith obviously is great as well. So
what's up, Kenneth? Yeah, for sure. For sure. Gore said, Justin, when you get a chance, Google Doctor Strange annual issue number 1 from 1976 to see P. Craig Russell draw Doctor Strange and his world. Masterful work. Damn.
P. Craig Russell was great. Great. Actually, I think they did like a prestige format, like printing of that in the 90s, but like
a larger.
Like he added pages. So it's
okay.
And he said something about his art was very like on how you say it, almost like the printing back then wouldn't have like brought out the best in it, so to speak. Where, I think in that 90s edition that I'm thinking, I probably have it. I'll dig it out so I can like post it. But you know, with the modern kind of coloring and printing techniques, I guess he felt like it would come out better.
Yeah,
you know, it would look better. And I, you know, although I like the paper, so it's for me. I don't know if I agree with him on that.
Yeah. What up, Flash? Says I'm late, but I'm here. Are we in agreement? Marvel keep Clea.
I don't think she'd be going anywhere. But Steven back too, though.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I would like to see them both. Let's get into some of the covers here. I still threw a little panel together, just some of the other covers that we had kind of mentioned a little bit. But there's the Bruner one.
Yeah, I gotta get that one.
Yeah, it's a 1 in 100. I was just looking that up, and yeah, I love the style. And obviously, this is kind of not homaging, but kind of taking the work that Bruner is known for and has done.
I'm sure that's like a pin up or a panel from back
probably
in the 70s.
That
splash page or something that they used.
Yeah,
but it's cool, man. His art he's almost like a Steranko to me, and like he didn't draw like if you ever look at like Steranko's like actual output from Marvel back in the 60s, it was not really that much, but his impact was like immense. I feel like Bruno's like that. Other than really drawing Doctor Strange and some maybe like 70s Bronze Age like Marvel horror, like little short stories, he never really, like, he was kind of in and out, but his impact was like immediate. I mean, his covers, his art is just tremendous.
Yeah. By the way, I dropped your link, so anybody not following Paul, check him out. Paul, I think you get along with, I don't know if you know Gore Vidal. I might have even said this last time we were all hanging, but I think you two would get along. Both very, very knowledgeable of the history of
he's definitely Marvel. A pretty knowledgeable dude.
Let's see so the next one here. So Art Germ, right? That's the one you had for that second cover there.
Again, not usually a big fan of his art, but I thought this one looks pretty cool. So.
Yeah, no, I like it. I definitely get what you're saying with like a lot of his work kind of looks the same.
I just feel like they all look the same pretty much.
Kind of plays that same, which I feel like to some degree you could say about J. Scott Campbell, which is the one on the bottom right too.
Guaranteed,
but I love that. I love that style, that look. I
just think in retrospect, I do like those that have, because that's basically the Clea that I kind of know and would recognize is the her purple like kind of outfit, you know. So I know she's a Sorcerer Supreme now, so she's got so Azor is actually he posted that book today with Dr. He's Dr. Voodoo, not Brother Voodoo.
I saw that. That looks so dope.
I know at one point he assumed the mantle of Sorcerer Supreme. I'm just curious if his outfit looked like Doctor Strange's, but like different colors, maybe, or something.
Eric, you maybe gotta open that thing up.
Yeah, you basically have to get that outfit if you're the Sorcerer Supreme or something, you know.
Yeah, just comes with the job.
But I do like I like her kind of more traditional, the purple.
Yeah, agreed.
76s. Yeah, I was watching the beginning of that massacre.
Bad, it's bad. The other thing too with so that's what I was looking back at when I was looking at the volume 2 stuff. I think it was like issue 5, issue 7. She's on some, or no, issue 5, issue maybe 12. I forget. She's on obviously she's on a couple. She's ties into a lot of those stories. But yeah, I would like to dive into some of that stuff. At some point, because I'm very intrigued. And then the other one too, with kind of a mix of the outfits. I mean, it's all purple, dark.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one before. That's pretty cool. What is that behind her? Is that the
So that's him. That's Harvester or Harvest. Okay. What's his name?
Harvestman.
Yeah. Harvestman. So that's him. And I thought that was a dope cover too. I think it was the one in. Let me see. It's the one in 25, Azrar variant. Azrar Mohammed Azrar.
And you said that Bruno one is a 1 in 100?
Yeah, it's the 1 in 100 hidden gem variant for Bruno.
I guess if I get lucky, but I probably don't want to pay the freight on that one.
Yeah, you might be able to find it for like, I mean, I feel like there was a good amount of these printed, so you could probably find one for like,
sure.
60, 70 bucks. I definitely wouldn't pay $100 for it, which is, they say usually ratio could spend
$100, but somebody posted it on IG. I can't remember who, but and that's what made me look into it. And I feel like when I looked into it, it was like $100 or so.
Yeah.
Yeah. $50. I'd probably do that.
I think I would too for 50. And you know what? Probably if I saw it in person, especially, I'd probably fall in love with it even more.
Yeah.
Those colors and stuff, like it is.
I know it is. It's beautiful. Like just great. I love like the black border and stuff. It's just it looks like a tarot card or something, you know.
Yeah. Yep. Good.
The way the border is like
absolutely.
That.
Yeah, man. Yeah, come on, we got to talk a little bit about the artwork, but that's what we have here. That's all we have for that. So any final thoughts here, Paul, on the book in general? Will you be buying the second issue?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
So what I'm not aware of though, doesn't say it on here, is this so this has the legacy numbering, so they're just considering this like, so I was ready to ask, is this a mini series or whatever, but
I think it's on that.
Yeah, no, it has the Doctor Strange 417 or number 1, so it does have the legacy numbering.
Oh, the legacy, yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely be picking it up.
Nice, yeah, no, I'm with you. I don't know if there's going to be tie-ins or anything along the way. It's not really an event, so I think it's just we're just going to get.
Yeah, that's true. It's not an event. Yeah. It's just kind of a continuation of his run.
Mm-hmm.
Just it's not him in the book currently.
Yeah, currently. I think we're gonna, I think it's. I mean, obviously we're driving towards something here, right? With her wanting to, do this, but
$200. Yeah, that's too much.
Yeah, so that J. Scott, I forgot that there was a virgin variant of that. I think there's also a virgin variant of the one you have, which I think was going for like 150. If that's the one.
Morb sent me a picture on this. So this wasn't from this Wednesday. This was last Wednesday.
Right. Last.
Okay.
Yeah.
Morb, he sent me a picture and he's like, "Oh, people are bugging," and I thought it was this book, and it was $200. He sent me a picture. So I went to my comic shop and I saw it on the rack for like cover price,
yeah,
or plus minus 20%, like the sub discount.
Yeah,
I was like, I'll get this cover then, just in case,
Right.
And then I went home. I was like, dude, that book's not $200. Bro. I was like, cover price. But maybe that's what it was. Maybe there was a virgin one of it. So.
I was gonna say I think my store had it at one point. I saw the virgin version of that, but I think, and then also J. Scott Campbell, that one also was a virgin, or they did a virgin version of it. I don't know. Oh wow, I'm looking at it now. The virgin variant of the J. Scott Campbell, which is this one, is a 1 in 500.
Wow.
So that's a one without, obviously virgin. That's 1 in 500 variant, which you don't see many 1 in 500s. That's a hefty ratio.
Yeah, definitely.
So
usually that's for like really big. That is for big events, like the Return of Wolverine.
Right,
that
right.
miniseries, there was like there's actually a 1 in 1,000 of that too. So,
which I'm curious then too. Like, is this a direction they want to go for a while? I mean, think about when they did, and I don't know if this is fair to compare generally, but it just comes to mind of when they had Wolverine and then they had X-23, and she played. She's Wolverine, like that's her name, that's her, for a while. Obviously they bring Wolverine back in Logan, and he is obviously still very much in the picture. But maybe they're kind of dipping their toes in this direction, and maybe that's just.
I feel like, but Marvel is so MCU centric now that
that's true.
I feel like by the time the movie comes out, he'll be back, or maybe she's going to show up in the movie. You know what I mean? So
that's true. Could see that
they do. Well, probably much to my dismay, I'd rather they didn't, but they try to tie the comics into the movies now. So some things. So sometimes you can follow the tea leaves. If you see, they stop pushing a character, next thing you know, they're going to be in a movie, so to speak. So
right.
Now she's helming the title, but he's coming out in the movie. And when is Doctor Strange coming out? Like a couple months or something?
May. Yeah.
May.
Early May. Yeah.
So he's either going to be back by May, or maybe she's going to, maybe by the end of Doctor Strange 2, maybe she'll be a player.
Yeah.
And everybody be running to get their Strange Tales 126.
Of course. Watch the crowd sprint.
Never forget that aspect of it.
Right.
May 6th. All right, cool.
Gore, thank you, by the way.
Moon Knight's the end of this month.
Yeah.
Kenobi's coming out.
Yeah.
Fairly soon, I believe.
Soon, yeah.
Morbius comes out April 1st.
Mm-hmm.
And then May 6th, Doctor Strange. So we're going to have a good few months coming up here.
Definitely. We definitely are. I'm still watching Peacemaker right now. Have you watched that at all? Or no? It's very good, man.
I do like seeing it though, so maybe I'll check it out.
It's just as a standalone. I mean, you don't even have to tie it into DC. It's just like it could be a standalone indie random TV show, and I think you'd enjoy it.
Comedic, I guess.
Yeah. He continues to play that role.
Someone told me don't watch it with your son. It's not.
No. It's not kid friendly at all. But he plays that role really well, and it's I'm entertained. My girlfriend really enjoys it. Yeah, I think it's worth it.
10 episodes.
Something like that. Maybe not even.
Not even. I'll check it out. HBO Max.
Yeah. Just watch the first episode. You'll be able to judge it right away if you think it's for you or not. But yeah, I was gonna say, Gore said he enjoyed this discussion. He hasn't read Death of Doctor Strange. He said, I think I'm going to to his Doctor Strange collection this weekend. Nice. In the mood for some Paul Smith and Strange Cleo Heartbreak. There you go. I appreciate that, Gore. He says, I will stick with this book for the 5 issues. I hope for 5 issues. That's fair. Hope that they change her costume. Perhaps maybe go back to the old stuff.
I'm kind of curious now. This outfit they have on the cover with her is kind of like Doctor Strange's outfit. Is that what she had?
Tomorrow Cinema. What up, Manny?
It's more or less what she's wearing in here, but not. What's funny though is now that if you relook at that scene again where she's in the goblin kind of bazaar there, she does have her purple kind of outfit on at first. And
you're right.
She kind of gets like pissed and she transforms into kind of the Doctor Strange outfit. So that was but yeah, so this one on the cover is like a throwback. That's not even really the outfit she's wearing in the book.
Right.
Even when she's in the Strange outfit, it's not this one. This is like from like the 70s of that style.
Yeah.
But I like the cloak. I like the traditional cloak,
Yeah. Architectural was asking about some underrated Strange runs. I've poured over Ditko's stuff, the Golden Standard, and have a few select colon issues. Plevin's story. Oh, you mentioned Plevin's last time we talked about Oath and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, the Strange Tales of Volume 2 they did. I would say, so he said colon. I mean, I would read, the Marvel Premiere run, which is where Bruno's first started drawing them. Steve Englehart was the writer. That was really kind of like trippy and like that's actually when the Ancient One, finally officially dies, and Doctor Strange actually assumes, because he wasn't always a Sorcerer Supreme. He doesn't really become that until after the Ancient One dies. And I think that was like Marvel Premiere number 10 or maybe number 9, I forget. But anyway, that whole run is really good. I mean, it's only like 12 issues, maybe, or 10 issues, but that's a good run. Hey, what's going on, man? But like Gore was basically saying that the Roger Stern era, that was like, mid 80s or early 80s, I guess. That whole era was really good.
Oh, this here. Yeah, definitely. I think I remember you mentioned some of those names last time too when we were talking. Hey, we got Roscoe in the house. What's going on, Roscoe? Just had him on my show this past Saturday, Comic Collector Origins. Good hanging with you, brother. Thanks for stopping by. I saw Manny in here earlier as well. Shout out to Manny, Chamorro Cinema. Damien was also here. Appreciate everybody hanging with us here. This was awesome, Paul. By the way, I want to say thank you for doing this. I feel for whatever reason, I know you're a mutant brother, and we talk X-Men and everything else, but for some reason I gravitate to you with strange stuff too. And obviously, I mean, you know your stuff. So
yeah, no, I do like strange, probably more than the kind of average, I guess, kind of reader. So
yeah,
it definitely was. Although Gore seems like he's he's a pretty big Strange aficionado, but no, I do like Doctor Strange. He's good stuff.
Gore he's an encyclopedia, man. Any show I've had, he drops like 3 different knowledge bombs on me, like for any book I'm talking about, except Saga. Don't talk to the man about Saga. He's not a fan of that.
In that regard, we're pretty similar.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, throw up that X, Eric. Anything you want to plug? Anything going on, Paul, before we kind of close out here?
Not really. Excuse me, not really too much. Like I said, I probably will do a show next week. I don't really have anything too concrete yet, but it's generally being the same kind of vein. I'll probably be spotlighting kind of characters' origin, or kind of more classic, I guess, issues in older book type things. So nice. I got a couple of things in the hopper, but we'll see which one comes out. But yeah, probably sometime in the middle of next week.
Everybody that's in the chat right now, I recognize as some big comic book readers. So, you folks like to read your books. You like to talk about your books. I would definitely recommend subbing up to Paul here, because that's what Paul's all about. So, Paul, I look forward to seeing more of the content you're putting out there. You had a great breakdown last week talking about Doom, just a full-on breakdown about Doctor. Awesome. Yeah, you guys did a great job with that. And so I look forward to more of those and breaking down, learning some other characters. I wanted to mention on my side of things, the main thing I wanted to bring up was I have this Saturday got Comic Collector Origins, and I just put the thumbnail up here before, but I'm talking to my man Scheme here, Scheme Richards, at 2:00 this Saturday. Yeah, man.
Scheme, what's good? I think he's going to be in my neck of the woods on Friday night, actually.
Oh, nice. Oh,
I think he's doing I don't want to say a gig. I don't know what you would call it, but he's performing, so to speak, in I think in Providence on Friday night.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
I'd like to stop in there and say what's up to him.
Absolutely. He's a great dude. I'm looking forward. We'll definitely talk some music. I know that's for sure. Oh, cool. So yeah, that'll be 2:00 Saturday. And then I'm doing a Lego build, Paul. I've been on this kick. I don't know where this came from.
That Lego video where the guy's covering the kid's eyes. My wife showed me that yesterday, and the first thing I thought of was like, someone needs to do that with Justin.
Yeah.
And you posted that today. Yeah. I was like, yep, there it is.
So check this out, though, Paul. How dope is this, man? This is like a life size, man. This is, even the bottom has it's like rock that it like sits on. It's got a nice little. Badass. And one thing I appreciate that a buddy of mine over at Zap Comics, he mentioned that they actually call it Mjolnir, which at first it just says at the top, it just says Thor's hammer when I first bought it. And I was just thinking like, oh, that's weird. Like, wouldn't they really call it its name as a Marvel item? And they do, though. They
generic.
But they do have it down there on its like little
nice
little thing there. So yeah, I'm excited. So we're gonna do a Lego.
It's gonna be a big piece, huh?
Yeah, it's just shy of 1,000 pieces.
I don't see it. Where are you displaying all these Legos? I'm trying to look behind you here.
I only built the one. I took it down. I have the Infinity Saga. I haven't built that one yet either. But that's the, what do you call that? The Sanctuary, which is Thanos' ship.
Oh yeah, Sanctuary 2 or whatever.
Yeah, the 2. Yeah, Sanctuary 2, and it comes with some minifigures here. Captain Marvel, cool. Iron Man, little Thanos with the helmet.
I was gonna say helmeted Thanos is pretty cool.
Yeah. There's his head there. But yeah, so I
used
still
to
got
play
some
the
stuff.
Lego games hard with my son, like the
Yeah,
Lego
yeah.
games, Lego Star Wars, Lego Mom. He
I've
was a
seen
big
those.
fan.
Nice,
Excuse
nice,
me. He was a big fan of those when he was younger. So, and I
nice.
have a bunch of, I have like a tote full of like kind of just miscellaneous Legos. But he was more into the Lego city pieces, the fire station, the
Yeah,
police station, like those kind of things.
yeah. No, those are cool. And that was another thing. I'm like, oh, maybe I want to get into that at some point.
Yeah,
But
that city, that thing you had
dangerous.
that video of was like,
Yeah,
that was
how
badass.
crazy
Like
is
that
that?
was cool. I mean, I would like to have that myself.
Yeah, so I'm like, I want to have it. I'm like, where am I going to put it? I look around. I got comics everywhere. I got no room
That's
otherwise.
the
But
thing. I know spaces of
yep.
limits.
Yeah, I was just thinking that I love that post you did. You had the speaking about just other collectibles and stuff. You had that awesome Storm figure, toy minifigure, or whatever we call that. And that's like, is that older or is that a current toy? Is that
no? They make them. You know what? I'll be honest with you. I got a bunch of them right here. Hold on.
Yeah.
They call them Kenner style. They're just made like they have. Not like most of the newest figures. They have like limited articulation, the kind of like the old Star Wars figures, just straight like, but they have so these, not to get too crazy, but anyway, these, so I started buying these. They kind of became a
yep. That's so dope.
I have, so these are the Daredevil trifecta. I have the, what were you asking me about?
Storm. You had the Storm.
I have Magneto. I have 2 Wolverines, yellow costume, brown costume. So,
well, I like that you had it with the books too. You like had first you had the toy, and then you moved her, and then you had all the different like Storm covers and stuff like that. It was a dope.
I just wanted to kind of put like a random kind of a Storm reel together, but I didn't really know what kind of book, so I kind of threw the books together, and I was like, you know what? Let me put this on the top because these books are like just scattershot.
It worked. No, it totally worked. Mark says I'll sub him up just to hear his Boston accent. There you go. He says love it.
Rhode Island, close enough, I guess.
Yeah, close enough. Cool. Let's see. What did Gore say? He said, I'm still reading Saga. It's my reality TV comic, kind of that 90s day. Yeah, that's we'll have to talk about that, Gore. But again, everybody make sure if you're not already subbed up following Paul, make sure you do so. I put his information in the description below. And thanks everybody for hanging out with us. Just kind of talking some strange.
Cool, man.
Yeah, if this continues to be good, Paul, maybe we can keep it going, or see how these next.
Yeah, I wasn't sure because sometimes these issues come out, and then like the second, they'll like back to back. But I guess I don't know when number 2 is coming out. Maybe next week. But
yeah.
But I'm definitely looking forward to it. This was a pretty good issue. So.
Likewise, absolutely, man. Well, again, I appreciate you hanging out. Appreciate your time, and we'll got to do more of these for sure. Whether it's this or mutants or something, but we'll keep talking comics.
I did finally read because Jason was giving me a lot of shit. I finally read Inferno, so because I was reading, nice. I think X Deaths of Wolverine, and one of the things didn't make sense, and he was like, "Oh, you didn't read Inferno?" I was like, I have the issues, but I didn't read them yet.
Oh, Paul, dude,
read it, it'll make sense. So I read it. So yes, it makes sense now.
Did you I know this is a whole other probably conversation, but just a short answer. Did you like Inferno? Did you generally like it? Did you not like it at all?
I would say it was okay. It definitely fit with the house and the powers of X or 10, I believe it's supposed to be. But it does like butt up nice with those, because in between, like the whole X of Swords thing just kind of like broke my back, so to speak. It was such a convoluted mess, and I just wasn't really into it. So I was that's why I was buying Inferno, because I think that kind of came right after that. But I never even read them yet. But I read them. It was good. My biggest complaint issue, I guess, with the new X stuff is it's just not I don't want to say my X-Men. I don't want to be like that about it, because I understand things have to change. But at least like some semblance of like in Inferno. There's no Wolverine. There's really no. I mean, it basically just focuses essentially on like Magneto, Xavier, and Moira. Yep. Which is cool, but like where's Colossus? Which I know at the end they made him a member of the kind of the council, so he does show up. But basically,
it's not a typical structure. It's not a typical structure of X-Men.
It's not the X-Men. It's like it would be a cool. You could make that story just be a cool story about like any kind of random super team, I guess.
Sure,
Like,
sure.
There's really nothing overly X-Men about it. I mean, there is, because you got the Orcus and like the Sentinels, and
sure.
so, but it just, I don't know, man. I would like just like an X book with like the traditional kind of team. I mean,
Yeah,
put some
yeah.
new members or whatever, but at least have like, Storm and Colossus and Nightcrawler and kind of the main kind of crux of the team, and just kind of go from there. It's just too much like new, and it's just kind of off-putting to me. It's just not something I'd rather just read like newer takes and of like the old characters, I guess, rather than just new takes with new characters.
We got to get you on the X-Men. That's what we need to get you on, because
that's coming up. So
you'll fall right into it. Oh yeah, do we have you on the list? I didn't even.
I think John reached out to me about the that Marvel the hell's it called? Not pre-premiere Marvel. It's actually the magazine with the
the magazine. X-Men. Yeah. Okay.
He said he thinks it's coming up, but probably not until like May or something. So,
yeah, well, yeah, probably towards the end of the season.
Give me plenty of time to pull my issue out and reread.
Nice.
There's actually 3 stories in there, right? I think it's Nightcrawler, Phoenix, and Iceman. So.
I haven't even looked at it. We just discovered it because it wasn't like listed properly in the back of the omnibus. So like when we were flipping through, he's like, "Hey, I discovered like there's this other issue." So we're like, "Oh shoot." But yeah, man. No, I totally get where you're coming from. Yeah, let's see. Do you guys feel like X-Men and Wolverine are getting watered down by many titles?
There are a lot of titles, but
it's always been a lot of titles. There's always been a lot of X titles, haven't there? Like that, like in the '90s, weren't there all sorts of X-Men titles?
So let's say the '90s, the beginning, by the early obviously you just had Uncanny, and then Jim Lee X-Men came out.
Mm-hmm.
And then shortly after that, and then I guess there was New Mutants already running.
Right. Excalibur was a thing, right?
Excalibur was out. And then shortly after the Jim Lee X-Men had started, I think when the Phalanx Covenant story ended, Generation Next came out. Generation
Oh, X. Yeah. I remember this, yeah.
So, yeah, you're up to 5 or 6 right there, plus Wolverine's solo book, plus Wolverine was in Marvel Comics Presents, so that was kind of like he had 2 books. And there was countless miniseries. I have a whole like 2 half boxes of '90s X-Men miniseries. So it's so what was the question? Is it watered down now? I mean, there's always been a lot of titles. I guess just I was younger and I was more. I guess I would say at least they were. It was like Wolverine's my guy. That's who I love. So those are the stories I'm going to be more like drawn to kind of want to read. So
yeah,
at least he was in them. There was a lot of titles. Where now like the Marauders, the Hellions, Excalibur,
they're different teams
kind of stuff.
Yeah,
it's just kind of these all like obscure characters. Excuse me, or just characters I just don't have any affinity or like connection to. So
yeah, no, that's fair. I mean I do like they are using them because I've started to fall in love with some characters that I might not have before. Like I know they're writing about this character Sync, who is a '90s character and really didn't have kind of like Clea, like it wasn't a focused character.
90s, he was around for about 2 or 3 issues,
right? And he was gone, right?
I think he died in the Phalanx thing.
But that's what I like though about this is it's like taking advantage of some of these characters that are characters Marvel made. They're mutants. Why not flesh out maybe some and if you give the right writer, make them interesting. Make them an interesting character. So I like the idea of his powers. But
Sync is cool. It definitely was like. But in my opinion, when he was created in the 90s, he was just created to be just kind of this like quick,
like a filler,
basically just some random mutant we need for this story, and we're going to kill him off. And so the fact that they go back and now they flesh him out and they really develop his powers, you can kind of see the kind of full potential of him. I mean, it's definitely cool.
Yeah.
Oh, he was around for the whole run. Okay. Who am I thinking of? That I know Blink died. Maybe I'm thinking of Blink. Blink died right at the beginning of and then she came back later on, but she was part of the Exiles. She was from like a different reality or something. But so Sync was around. So it was Blink that had Blink dies right at the beginning there. But anyway, these characters, they were kind of so like brief or just not really like I'll be honest, as a big X-Men and Mutant fan, I wasn't really a big Generation X guy. I like the Chris Bachalo art. It was pretty cool early on, but again, it was like all these like weird new characters like Skin and it was like
it
was just And at that point, you know, I was probably getting to the point where I was stepped away from comics for a few years by the mid '90s anyway. So
Sure.
you know, I didn't get that invested. But anyway, we're way off.
Yeah.
Way off the we're
It's
way
all
off
good,
the,
man.
the mystic
You,
realm right
you
now.
know, we had to talk a little bit about some mutants here on this show.
No, but
even
these
though-
are the kind of books and series I'm going to try to get into. So yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. Anybody watching this now, or if you're catching a replay, if you're liking what we're talking about this moment, definitely, you know, sub up to Paul, check him out, because this is, like you just said, there's more content like this coming your way with that.
And obviously, based on this little discourse, I need to reread and freshen up on some of these things, because it's been 25 to 30 years. So.
They're putting you to the test here, Paul. Some of these guys
wow,
putting you to the
Sync.
test.
I know Sync's been in the new, and I know Jason. He mentioned him. He's the
one that got me on him. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, we'll wrap this up again. Anybody watching, make sure you're subbed up to Paul. Hopefully we'll catch you over the weekend. Some of the shows I got coming up. Smash that like button on the way out if you don't mind, and hopefully we get another good Strange issue number 2 in a couple of weeks. And who knows, maybe we'll come back and talk about it. But appreciate everybody in the chat. Thank you all for hanging, Paul. Thank you again. Appreciate your time. Get ready for baseball season.
Appreciate it, man. Yes.
And yes, sir.
Go Yankees.
And one last thing too. Next weekend, getting together, me, you, Morbius, Jason, some of the guys. I think it's gonna be a good time over at that King Con convention that's going on here in Jersey. So luckily for me, it's only 40 minutes away. Paul, I know you got a little bit more of a drive, but at least you're staying for a night. So
hoping 3.5 hours. So I'm basically just gonna get up early on a Saturday, like 6-ish.
Yeah, so you can get there like
10-ish. I think that's when the show starts.
I was gonna say try to get there right when it starts. I think it's worth it, especially if you're trying to look for a couple books.
Yeah, I'll get there right around 10, chill, meet up, whatever. I'll probably stay at that. I guess it's at a hotel where they're doing it, so I'll probably just end up staying right there.
Yeah.
I was trying to get information from Morb about a place to stay kind of around his way, but he was, he wasn't. I mean, he mentioned some places, but I'm probably gonna end up having my wife with me, so I don't want to stay any place too shady.
Sure. Yeah. Is your son coming?
He'd probably be with us too. Yeah.
Nice.
It wasn't going to be that way initially, but then
okay.
I think Morbius is actually bringing his wife and kids, so it was just all kind of meet up that way. Because I know Little Giant, he's planning on coming up for Little Giant.
Okay.
I think Nigel's going to be there, so that'll be more of the
nice
guys trip, quote unquote.
Nice.
So
nice.
Time,
guys trip,
family friendly.
Yeah, no, that's cool, man. Well, I'm looking forward to it for sure. And anybody going, maybe we'll run into you there. But all right, we'll wrap this up again. Thank you to everybody. We appreciate you, and we will catch you next time.